2310 open. What does the straddle look like today? Is it still 50? Oh, it's actually 55. Minute bottom wick. Not in love with anything here. Minute bottom wick. I guess to the upside, it makes a lot of sense here. Oh, hey, Koshik. I wasn't expecting you today. Which means I was expecting nobody. Straddle's at 55 points, by the way. So it's creeping up since yesterday, as expected, because VIX is quite a bit higher, and we're a little lower on SPX. Still like this to the downside. 73, 72.70 is what I want to see. Oh man, see, I gotta remember what I'm thinking. So pre-market, I was thinking, okay, the only way, if I want to short, I short from around 73.86 on ES, 73.87 on ES. It's a 15-minute fair value gap there. It's the only fair value gap that was really left behind. And I was looking at a few other things and just completely forgot about it. And it would have been a pretty decent short to downside for about 20 points there. Yeah, one thing I also noticed, I was like, I think I was up a little earlier. Well, I was up early, but I happened to be checking the charts early, and I was like, hey, there's like a 15-minute fair value gap at around 7,400 that hasn't been filled on the 15-minute, and I was thinking that would be like the perfect spot to short 7,400. So this was like around like 6 a.m. or something, so around here, and we eventually climbed up there towards 7,400. I think we ended up 7,403. Stop loss would have to be this high here, which kind of sucks, but if like my bias was just down, right? So it was just looking for entries. And then the same thing here. 15 minutes. Fair value gap got tested here. Yeah, and it ended up yielding like a good 20 some odd points from here. From here, I guess the take profit could be around here, 73.76. So you're still looking at about 20 plus points. It's pretty good. But we've been doing this weird grinding motion, grind down, actually. And essentially filling out nodes that weren't there. And we've been doing a lot of that, like building volume. And I noticed that Alma said there's a lot of liquidity that is between 72.50 and 74.50, I believe, which is like a 200-point range. And we've kind of been messing around in that range for like a little bit now. And just grinding it out ever since Tuesday. Like it would seem like it's like a massive trend day, but when you look at the chart, it's actually like a range day. It just happens to be a very large range. So like you get one trending move and then the rest of the day ranges. You went long there? So we got a gap above that is at 73.60 essentially. Let me update that. Yeah, it's good. Good break even, I guess. I got nothing here. I'm still kind of biased down, but I would find it very difficult to enter anywhere here. And there's still like, I think you can put your target might actually hit. Wait, actually, where's your target? Let me see. That's a 1 minute chart. 73.88. Yeah, there's a chance that your target hits here. I'm looking at a NQ volume imbalance on the 5-minute that rejected at 371 on NQ. And then there's another one at 393. 371 had already rejected there off the 930 candle. The 15-minute one is 393. And that hasn't been tested yet. So if we do want to head up for liquidity, that'd be it. I mean, ES has a VI there too at 394.95. One of them's going to sweep here. I can't imagine both sweeping if we're going to head up. If we're going to head up, one's going to sweep. Or at least that's what I would like to see. But if we're going to head down, I would imagine both hitting. Both overnight lows sweeping. Overnight, at around like 11 p.m., we kind of hit off that. So it's weird. I'm drawing these nodes in. 736325. I drew a node there, an edge of node. I think we went as low as 7357, wicked, and pretty much respected it. So from a higher time frame perspective, like a 1 hour, it was pretty good. It was like a 6-hour trade to hit the other side of the node of this low volume node. But it hit 7406. So like playing a volume profile makes so much sense there. And drawdown's pretty minimal in a sense that, okay, you enter 7363 at one edge of the node. Your drawdown was maybe 7 points, but upside, you can take profit at 7391, which is almost 30 points there. Or you can take profit at the edge of node, 7406, which is even more. But yeah, you see that volume imbalance? It's going to probably hit on the 15-minute here. Let's see. Let's see if this volume imbalance hits. But I think your target's going to hit. You get a nice VWAP tap or possible run through. Yeah, directionally, you were correct. That was like a good get. I would think that your target hits. Whereas NQ, I'm not sure if it'll hit. Oh, maybe not. Maybe not. Just some herky-jerk price action. I hate the way the 15-minute candle looks here on NQ. Yeah, herky-jerky price action. Gotta love it. There you go. Your target hit. It's a good trade. But it might have higher to go here. Just looking at NQ and its potential. Both the VI, the 15-minute volume imbalance there, and the liquidity level. Sorry, and the VWAP level. That's what I meant to say. I still like downside though. I'm like bearish. A little too bearish. Yeah, what I wanted to see was a run down and then a run back up. But maybe we don't run down anymore. Like we already went lower than previous day low, so in this grindy environment, it's kind of hard to judge. So that's value area high there. Yeah, what I would like to see is a down move and then a gap fill. I don't know how much I would like. Well, I guess the other potential would be a gap fill and then a down move. But I prefer a down move and then a gap fill. I heard the Indian's prime minister, or is it president? I don't remember. But Modi, he sent some aid to Venezuela for the earthquakes that they experienced there, which is pretty neat. They're basically India's come into the forefront when it comes to like humanitarian efforts, which is I guess they're trying to like assert themselves as a world leader, right? Like when it comes to these things. Especially when the US is doing nothing anymore besides starting wars. Like NQ, based on NQ, I say down. But ES looks a little strong here for me. CL crude oil is down to 69 bucks. It's amazing. Yeah, the NQ structure still looks very bearish to me, but ES looks bullish. It's funny how like a 15-minute candle can like skew my thoughts there. Yeah, the updated positioning looks a little bit interesting here. This is intraday. This looks like ES or SPX can run up another like 15 points, maybe even 20 points, which would be pretty darn close to the gap fill, I would say. Official gap fill would be around 73.60, so about 40 points from here. Yeah, it definitely does look good. especially when like there are other countries that are starting wars. By other country, I mean there's only one, but all right, there's a rocket up. And now we're at the edge of the negative gamma cluster or negative strike cluster. But this could go to 73.40. I just looking at the SPX chart, I'd say the gap fill position is so thin over there, so 73.50. Yeah, we're almost at 73.50 there. Or am I having live stream issues? I haven't noticed that yet, but actually currently it says no dropped frames. Oh yeah, this 1 hour looks really bullish. Yeah, that 1 hour is super bullish. Holy cow. Maybe I approached today a little too bearish. $73.35. Above 73.35. Should see 73.55. Definitely more upside. So 10 more points. Yeah, so after the gap fill, I would be looking for some sort of indicator that we might have topped out after the gap fill on SPX, which is still another like 10-15 points there. Just trying to decipher some of Alma's stuff here. She started adding like very useful charts. 26. All right, did we sweep that? Okay, and we're almost at the gap fill high. A little bit of divergence here between ES and NQ at the highs. Oh, that divergence is going away now. There you go. Yeah, and what I'm seeing, okay, so VIX is on its way down back to 18.9-ish. Right now it's 19.22. There's a gap that needs to be filled there. on VIX. So it's going to be a little bit more upside, I think. Unless we just suddenly stop here because of the VIX structure. But what's interesting is the gamma for the day. It's fast to the up, like it basically is low gamma to the upside and super high gamma to the downside, which basically means any down move will be slow, but any up move will be fast. That's what I'm looking at the moment. So we're finally at the gap fill here. If we can't climb above yesterday's like closing price and stay above it, it probably means we're gonna be going down some more. Maybe not today. No, me neither. But I think we're at like almost a pivotal spot here. Could go a little bit higher. Could go the full straddle. Another 10 points. And then it'll be another 10 points on ES too from the looks of it. Okay, a little bit of SMT here, but nothing concrete yet. The candle hasn't closed, so. That's the overnight swing high on both NQ and ES. Let's see if this SMT holds. This is a gap fill pivot for the most part. So it is like a key spot. I don't want to try too early though, or else I'm going to get spanked. Am I copying the wrong thing here? There you go. Still nothing here. SMT did not hold. Ooh, the gamma profile changed substantially. "15 minutes closing pretty darn bullish." It's like almost a top, has like no top wick at all. But still watching this area here, regardless of the candle formations. There's 70. Where are we? 73.56. Okay. Yeah, it's just looking bullish so far. Volume node here. Okay. Interesting, interesting. Still a very interesting spot here at the upside pivot, which happens to be at the gap fill on SPX. Would have really loved to see an SMT of some sort there, if that was going to be a reversal signal. How do you like that NQ previous candle close on the bull bear indicator? Yeah, that's fair enough. This is a level I'm watching, so but it can't be like the sole thing I rely on. It's not my preference. Screw it. I'm gonna try an MES here just to say I tried it. Which is, oh, of course. Get the bottom of the candle. One MES. But I don't think this is a go. I don't like it on ES right now. Yeah, I'm gonna hit. It's gonna be a $50 loss. Yeah, there you go. That's a straddle high. Yeah, like ES didn't show the same, unfortunately. Okay, what was that? 5-minute candle. Still almost 4 minutes left. Yeah, I'm gonna hold off. Play nothing until maybe 73.85 on SPX. Yeah, I think I jumped the gun on that one. But it's also, I sized down to 1 MES just to kind of track it, if you will. But the 5-minute candle was also not very, like, it had no volume on that red candle. So that should have been my indicator. End of month. When is end of month? Oh, end of month is on Tuesday. Okay. I think this 5-minute candle is going to have some volume to it. Though, like, I hate the way the setup looks too. Everything still points bullish to me. VIX got a tiny bit more to go. Okay, I think I'm having stream issues now. I think I'm having stream. Oh no, the stream issues just went away. It corrected itself. Yeah, I think my stream is back. I went out for a moment. Gotta love Wi-Fi. $10.17 could act as a breaker. $10.17. Or if we come back, $10.17. $10.17. Where is 10.17? 10:17. Yeah. I see it now. I wasn't looking at my 1 minute. Let's see how this 15-minute closes. And ES and maybe ES and NQ can give us like some sort of SMT if we want to play it to the downside. But it could just continue pushing up too. Yeah, like NQ looks like it wants to close doji here. ES not so much. It might try, but you're looking for 20 more points higher on ES. Oh, I see what you're aiming for. Yeah, like the overnight highs. That would be interesting. I think that would be like the cleanest play. Especially reaching like the straddle high. Like right now we're at the straddle high, so like we would bust through the straddle high. Yeah, 15-minute doji close on NQ, but not on ES. Makes me think ES will head a little higher here, but we'll see. YM is still headed up here. Yeah, I'm in agreement with you. NQ does look better for shorts. ES, YM's just carrying ES right now. So we'll see. So let's see if we can get like death to ES here. But yeah, I do prefer NQ or MNQ, whatever. I don't mind the way the 5-minute looks on ES, but I think NQ is the way to go right now. 140 points stop loss. Oh, 140 points? That's only like $280 on MNQ. That's insane. Oh, now you get a YM kind of pullback here. Just slight pullback. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, I don't know how you dom trade on NQ either. Yeah, there's just something that I really like about like that 5-minute 1020 candle for a short. It sucks that we're looking at like 100-point stop loss there on NQ. Still like it. It's slow, oddly slow, but I like it. I don't particularly love where we stop though. Let me have a look here. Now the question is, where do we go? This might be it. Or it might not be. 73.40 on SPX. Very possible. Which would be another 13 points down. You slapped it on paper? Nice. Yeah, that 15-minute doji was pretty nice though, I must say. I don't know if it holds. Like, it could be just like a wick here below the doji and then we head right back up. It could just be an upside kind of day. Yeah, there's something about that 10-20 candle that I loved. But I didn't enter on like the accounts that mattered, sadly. See here. There's a breaker. And then maybe you get a retest at 74.25. But I want to make sure the 15-minute candle closes like this. It's going to be hard for me to enter if the 15-minute candle closes like bottom wick. Probably a bounce off 74.12, you think? $74.12. Come on, bounce. Bounce, you bastard. Come on. All right, 73.44. I was saying it could go 73.40 on SPX. But I would have liked to seen a bounce right here. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Retest that breaker. And maybe a few fair value gaps and or... Nope, maybe not. $73.98 would be take profit one. 73.98. Hey, that's a good take profit. I do anticipate a bounce here though, just because it's value area high. There you go. Massive bounce. I want to play this though. What is it? 20-point stop loss. 20-point stop loss. That's not bad. About $100 per position. Paper always works. Come on, come up some more. Give me a lower risk. They're gonna enter one MES there. I'm taking MES. The risk is just way too large for me. Yeah, so the way the 15-minute closes matters to me. Like, but I'll hold to stop loss anyways. Man, I wanted a little bit higher to pick up another MES. Yes, yes, look at that 15-minute. Come on, you gotta close favorably. Okay, I hope you got your entry. I'm pretty sure that's the entry you wanted. And you can argue that was a IFVG retest too, right? I just hope the 15-minute, 41 seconds, I hope we close lower than the previous 15-minute candle wick. 21.25? 21.50. Just by happy coincidence that the market, like I hit market entry. Like I didn't have a limit order or anything. I wanted another one at around 25, but we only went to 24.5, I believe. Oh, I hate that 5-minute close. Come on, man. But 15-minute close is good. Oh, that 5-minute close sucks. Let's see the hour. 4 hours. 4 hours looks bullish. And we did head up. It's gold in there. NQ will take us there. Just have to watch NQ for break even. Yeah. Yeah. There's just something that spoke to me about that 1020 candle. A 1020 candle on the 5-minute. High volume, top wick. After where I wanted to enter. So it was like a stop loss sweep, you know? Yeah. Freaking hate that 5-minute doji. Yeah, it's very possible. I really hated that 5-minute close there. Like, that 5-minute close was brutal. It couldn't have been any worse, in my opinion. Was there an opportunity for entry prior to that break? Like, somewhere around like 10:30, is there an entry? It's a real question. Yeah, this... Okay, hopefully this is the down now. That's the hope. Actually didn't have a limit order at 25, so it didn't trigger. Yeah, it might not be a bad idea. I'm gonna let it play out. I only have one MBS, so I'm risking about 75 bucks. And I'll take it to 73.80. Or break even. Once... If we do head any lower. Yeah, there's some... Like, that 5-minute candle close sucks. My risk is nothing, and... Yeah, the fact that the 5-minute close doji like that and a high volume candle, that sucks for me. Like, to me, that signals more upside, but at the very least, it would be upside to sweep the 5-minute high, which it technically has done. Now we got a 1-minute SMT between ES and NQ. ES is trying to hold below this 1-minute IFVG. Yeah, I'm not convinced either, to be honest. Like, after the 5-minute close, I probably shouldn't have entered. Well, to be fair, I entered before the 5-minute close. Because I entered, I think around the 1042 candle. And if I take this, I'm going to take it to the day's POC. Good 1-minute SMT there. But the 5-minute is just too high volume. Mind you, it was the value area low bounce. Yeah, too bad I don't have any real sizing on it, right? It would be about 50 points if I get it. Let me just make sure all the POCs are around the same. Actually, the 1-hour POC... So the 4-hour POC is at 7,400. 1-hour POC is at 73.85. I was aiming for 73.80, which happens to be the lower end of the POC, the lower time frame POCs. This 1 hour close is going to be interesting. It's got 5 minutes. NQ is closing below its swing high. It's currently under its swing high. ES happens to be at that overnight or London high. So also the swing high. I'm not confident in this move though. Like the market is just chopping around enough and slow enough to make you second guess this move. But once we break below that 5-minute doji candle, I have to think break even's okay at that point. Or it's funny because like I'm treating this as like a paper trade. That's why I'm in it 1 MES. $73.85. Yeah, I think $73.85 should do. $73.85, yeah. There's enough confluence between a bunch of time frames there. You got POC at 8.5 on the 1 hour. You got a VI at 73.845, 84.5 on the 15-minute. And on the 5-minute, you got a 73.86 VI. So there's like enough things going on in that region to make me want to close there, but anyways. Or it's just going to hit my stop loss. This is ugly. What was the low The low was 72.94 on SPX today. $72.94. Customer P&L. Customer P&L is at 0 at 72.91. That is crazy. Yeah, this doesn't look good. Like 5 minute, the 15-minute close sucks. This looks like more upside. Yeah, there's something about the NQ chart that I don't love right now. I mean, we can still go down, like, but more often than not, when I see this type of formation, I want to think upside. And it's really grinding this area out, eh? Building some volume. Won't be surprised to see POC make its way up here if we stay here any longer. But starting to see like a B pattern, capital B, volume profile pattern, which often means like we'll fill out in between. Or attempt to fill out in between anyways. But okay, NQ wants to move. I'm still not convinced, but I like it better now on the 5-minute, but not super convinced. Like I didn't want to full size this at all based on the risk. It's not moving anymore. It's really grinding this area out. Holy cow. Yeah, I like, okay, so the 15-minute on NQ is interesting. Like it could, I've seen it become bearish before. Like the next candle sweep below it. But it's not like the best indication, especially from like a risk reward perspective. Like there's no way you short here, right? Based on that signal. Like it's a better long indicator in my opinion than it is a short. And nothing again. See, Koshik, that was a good good closeout on your part. Just like all this chop is like indicative of like, hey, this is probably not the greatest trade to be in. And it's so ugly. And I haven't seen anything uglier. There's still 15 minutes left on the, or there's still 2 minutes left on the 15-minute chart here. So anything can happen, really. Quite the divergence, though, between ES and NQ here. So spot on take about NQ being the weaker one. And I think we both saw that. I was just listening to Vol Signals, and he was saying that there are positions that came on, and typically these positions that come on, they take profit intraday. And when they take profit, you can see a move like this morning's move wind down and just sell off. And he's just like, yeah, so watch out at around 7:30. You could see a reversal. It's an interesting take. He's seeing it from a flow perspective, and he offered this at around 10:26. 20 seconds on his 15-minute close. I don't want to see this divergence on ES and NQ hold here. I'd like to see this 15-minute rundown on ES. Nope. No cigar. Oh, maybe. Come on, let's go. There you go. There you go. NQ gave break-even signal. Yeah, that's true. And we're still in a divergence here. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for reminding me that NQ gave the break-even signal. Yesterday's 25th. $74.25. Oh, break even. Amazing. Shadow Gamma. That's very interesting. Yeah, I'm not a... Yeah, I think you're right. Funny because the SMT is holding here on the 15-minute. But your instinct was correct. Which was, we're chopping around here. I'm not in love with this. NQ... That was a tough one, I think. Let me see. NQ, because we entered... I entered 1042 candle. So NQ 1042. Let's say that's around 530. You got to move down for about 100 points, but your stop loss is at 666. So yeah, negative R or less than 1 R. Yesterday, okay. I'm starting to I'm reading Alma's new daily post setups. Like she kind of rejigged the way she did her dailies, and it's showing a lot more charts. Like it's her interpretation of gamma, which is interesting because it's a little different from what we're seeing from OptionsDepth. Let me take a look here. So that's what I'm kind of doing in the background. So yeah, to the downside, you have more positive gamma towards, and it peaks at around 7,200 to 7,250, which means we're pretty slow. And it makes sense. And it makes sense because we had a deep positive gamma position here, driven by this massive position here at 72.25 or 8K. So that has a positive gamma impact. Whoops. And Alma is showing 7,200, 72, around 7,200 as a potential stopping point if we should run beyond this here. She tracks this thing called shadow gamma. And then there's shadow theta, which is odd too. But I'm still trying to figure out what the heck shadow theta is. And then yesterday, you got negative gamma between 7,300. So yesterday, 7,300 and 74.50 negative gamma, with the deepest point of negative gamma at 73.70. So we oscillated around that 73.70 pretty much. And today, the customer P&L is his break even. So based on all the positioning, I guess, the customer P&L prior to any intraday market movements was 72.91. That's the break even based on all the positioning. And it would be bullish above that. So they'll make money. Customers will generally make money above that. 72.91. Today's low is 72.94. And then yesterday, the break even was 74.25. And the high of day yesterday was 74.20. But generally, customers lost yesterday. They ended up negative P&L. So I'm thinking coincidence, but Alma does note these levels for a reason. And they're all based on options positioning, basically. Not just gamma. Yeah, it looks like ES has some unresolved issues above. $73.45. 73.45. I said there's a local magnet at 73.45. There's this one podcast I remember listening to, and it just goes to show how random the market is. But yeah, there was this guy who works at the Toronto Stock Exchange, and he was talking about putting in orders, and he had one of his clients contact him about being offside, and he needs a way to be back onside. So there was like, so I guess the market was going up, and this particular firm was completely offside, and they had to buy up the market or the index. I don't remember if this was oil or if this was the SPX. I think it was the SPX, but and they had contacted the guy that works at the stock exchange to help structure the portfolio, help structure the trade. And come Monday, they were supposed to do the trade. They didn't do the trade because he called the guy and it's just like, hey, aren't we supposed to do the trade today? And apparently his daughter was sick, so he had to take some time off. He was back on Wednesday. So 2 days have passed. He was back on Wednesday, and then suddenly the stock market had gone up like crazy because because they performed the trade on Wednesday, and it was such a large order of trades that went one way. So there was just like an unlimited buyer essentially. This SMT is interesting. I'm gonna watch it closely here. But yeah, and then the market, the news guys, like the there was a headline that said stock market bulls going, that basically said, hey, yeah, stock markets went down on Monday because of this, and then went up on Wednesday because of this news from geopolitical issues, right? But in reality, the guy who made the trade was like, no, that's not the reason why markets went up. It went up because there was a massive order in the billions that it was a firm that was completely offside, and they had to buy up in order to satisfy their clients for index exposure. So he was basically saying, yeah, more of the story, you can look for all these reasonings, but the market's pretty random. And this ties into what Vol Signals is basically saying to some degree, which is you got to watch out at around 10:30 because the market participants who were in calls will look to take profit around there. And when they take profit, the dealers who had bought shares will now have to sell shares when these guys sell it. if it's negative gamma, right? So yeah, it's just, I guess that's what creates like the randomization in the market to some degree. It was just like an interesting thought about how random the market is. Looks like the SMT won't hold here. But that's often why we get like a run beyond like a certain level at times. And then there's times when maybe it stops short of a certain level that we're tracking. 2 break evens? Oh yeah, damn. There should be a rule about break even trades not counting. If you get 2 break even trades, you get 1 more. But it's a slippery slope because it like 2 break even trades can put you on tilt. Whoa, the SMT is holding here. Very odd. Very, very odd. And I was looking for a 7380 rejection to some degree. 7380. $73.80? $73.90. And we didn't sweep the highs. This is BS. Like I was hoping for that overnight high sweep, and then maybe NQ kind of holds below its RTH high there. The 7380 is an interesting spot. And VIX has completed its gap fill. There's a local high volume node too that it rejected off of. With more there's by default a bigger pie in play. Our slice is smaller. Major test would be 7400. Oh, why is it gotta play with me like this? That That 5-minute close. My goodness. Do I want to play this? Like, I almost have to. Okay, I'm gonna go one position. Maybe I get a second position there. And the POC has risen up too. Which is, I think, bullish for the day. MES. I'm staying on MES today. I'm not confident in much. And to me, that's why I'm so angry at the way the 5-minute close there. It's like super high volume, massive top wick. And we did not sweep. Like, it was a high volume node, but we didn't sweep. Yeah, and it looks like it was a bad entry. Or no, bad trade. I'm giving it 2. With like that second entry is 3-point stop loss, so no sell volume on ES or NQ. Hey, that's a good point. I should have taken a look at that. The 5-minute was like, that's my indicator normally, but I had a feeling that because we didn't sweep, it wasn't gonna work. Yeah, and this should take me out here. That's what really bothers me with that 5-minute candle. Like, that's a lovely 5-minute candle for me. And maybe I should have checked the bull bear indicator. And the fact that the 5-minute wick didn't occur after a sweep. It was just, but I offset that with an SMT with NQ, which was a bad idea, clearly. Yeah, I'm probably done. I'm not gonna size up in anything. I'll only take MES trades today, just based on my performance so far. I will be watching the sweep though, and I'll see. 73.90, 73.90. We're at 73.85 at the moment. Yeah, I think like higher time frame, everything was pointing up. Lower time frame, 7,400. 7,400. 73.85 is kind of balanced here. 7,400 is the next. Okay, there's a sweep. But I think NQ is going to run up towards 735. And so far, it's actually been like one-sided bullish expansion. And structurally, just looking at ES here, there's like yesterday's highs is still pretty high. Like we got another 30, 40 points to get up there to yesterday's high on ES. Let me see. Yeah, on SPX, it's another 30 points. Yeah, let's see here. With NQ, should be in that 715 to 750 range. This is roughly yesterday's value area high. Yesterday's value area high and overnight high. That's interesting. Yeah, and like some 1 minute SMT. Yeah, I got nothing here, so. Really thought NQ would go a little higher there. That's also YM's overnight highs. Yeah, it's a good call, Oshik. Yeah, I'll see you on Monday. I'm not loving anything here. Take care. Have a good weekend. I'll probably cut out too. Holy shit. What the fuck was that? That was so random.